All right. All right. Hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. As I mentioned previously in the last video, we're going to be switching things around. So this month I was supposed to do the invasion storyline, and then obviously August is normally our SummerSlam schedule, so we were gonna switch that up. Or we were going to do it that way, but instead we're switching things up here. So July will actually be the SummerSlam reviews, heading into the month of August, and August we will look at the invasion storyline. But I picked some. I think I picked some pretty decent ones, some pretty interesting ones as well, for the SummerSlam reviews, and this one sure is one of them. Now, oh, uh, if you remember a couple years ago on the channel, I reviewed Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan, and a match infamous for being essentially ruined and made a parody of by Shawn Michaels because he was upset at Hulk Hogan's seemingly politicking behavior. Or it was supposed to be best of, just a quick recap, I guess. It's supposed to be best of three. Then it came down to best of two. Then came down to just the one match with Hogan going over. Or Hogan said he didn't want to do three matches, that his body couldn't take three matches. The face was supposed to go over, made all kinds of excuses, which I imagine body breaking down. Oh, and that I guess plays into this match as well. I'm sure there's some truth to it, but at the same time, only getting out of actually losing to Shawn. And good to see that a year later at SummerSlam, Hogan did not learn his lesson. What would happen when Hogan does a repeat of not wanting to lose to his opponent, especially this opponent who seemingly has more to gain than Shawn Michaels? Well, Shawn Michaels at this point, while he hadn't retired yet, while he hadn't been in the Hall of Fame yet, was still a legend in a lot of ways. But what happens when Hulk Hogan faces an up and comer, not a legend, but rather a legend killer? Let's find out. I'm of course talking about Hulk Hogan versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam 2006. Now, as always, I'm not a professional wrestling viewer, analyst, or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I'd say I had a pretty decent time watching this match. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of know how this works. You have an idea of how this works, essentially. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the match. But how exactly did we get here? Well, as I alluded to, Randy Orton was the legend killer at this point in time. This was not hot, bald, Viper menace Randy Orton, although he was a menace in some ways at this time. This was young, still up and comer, post evolution in Randy Orton at this point. And 2006 had been an interesting year for him. And earlier in the year at WrestleMania, in a review I did a while ago as well, Randy had been competing for the World Heavyweight Championship, had at this point in time had won the World Heavyweight Championship back at SummerSlam 2004, and actually, spoiler for the rest of the month, that match is in the card, so we'll be looking at that match. But at this point, Randy was the legend killer and was going against a lot of the legends and or he legendary he things, I guess. As there was another word I wanted to use, but essentially legendary things, entities. That was the word I was looking for. Or going after different legends and legendary entities in WWE. He had the rivalry with Mick Foley slash Cactus Jack. He went after the Undertaker streak, stuff like that. And what bigger legend than Hulkamania? And this, of course, was years before people who finally hated Hulk Hogan and very much outwardly. Some people still hated Hulk Hogan, but not as much as say present day 2025. And for obvious reasons. And so, but Hogan and is going to be battling Randy here. That has some back and forth, even kind of playing into the Hogan's Knows Best show on MTV, which I don't think I watched growing up. I think I might have caught bits and pieces of it because this was around the time uh I wouldn't like fully be into wrestling until later on, but I think I caught it once or twice on MTV. I was a kid who didn't really watch a whole lot of MTV growing up. I know a lot kids or younger people did at the time, but I did not, unfortunately. So I did not really watch Hogan Knows Best, but they kind of played off that. Randy kind of had a relationship slash like flirtationship with Brooke Hogan, and they kind of played on it on programming and everything, and they kind of showed some of it on Hogan Knows Best, but they also mainly spoke about Hogan getting into the ring and what would ultimately, at least in WWE, be Hogan's last match. Um, but yeah, so mixing all those elements together in this, there was the moment where Randy RKO'd Hogan across a car, um, yeah, so it's leading to this match. Now that we're here, or what I like about the match, I think Randy he was able to who Hogan and can't lie. Like I said, there might have been Hogan might have used the knowing Hogan, he might have used the he my body can't handle more than one match excuse to get out of losing to Shawn Michaels, but maybe there's some truth to it because Hogan does have two knee braces, Alice Stone Cold Steve Austin, and but excuse me, but he had to have his, I believe, right knee completely replaced, and he was gonna have surgery on his left knee, and we'll get into that a little bit more later on. But Hogan, not in the best shape. This is not 80s Hulkamania Hogan. It's not even NWO Hogan. This was a very different, much older Hulk Hogan. And naturally, the body ages. But I think Randy was able to kind of work with Hogan to kind of work around him, and mainly leaving Hogan to do a lot of his like shtick and everything, and like he does the no selling, he does like the point and everything, and he kind of hams up the Hoganism, if you will, well that Hulk Hogan is known for. Leaving him to do that while Randy does the majority of the legwork. But at this time, Randy's still pretty young, so he's not quite fully ring general just yet. But leaving Randy to do most of the legwork while Hogan mainly does like the shtick and everything, I think was a very smart move. And Randy is able to do just that with Hogan in this and admittedly, some of the shtick is kind of funny. Randy, like with Hogan doing all his like taunts and everything, especially with the point Randy acting like all bewildered and stuff, as you do. Admittedly, is kind of funny and it does help trudge the match along. And on Randy, he still does look pretty dominant at times in this match. Hogan definitely more so, which is kind of just the nature of Hogan. But Randy, like for example, going after his knee, he's showing like the craftiness and everything of Orton, which they do put over big on commentary. So I think those elements do kind of help along this match. Hatch and Hogan ultimately, to the surprise of no one, does get the win in this match, and but I think Randy, the shtick, and all that is what helps trudge this match along, and the fact that it's not a super long match. It is it's about 10 minutes. It's almost 11, so about 10 minutes 57 seconds. I think if it went super long, it definitely would have dragged. So I think capping it at the 10 minutes, I think, was smart and a smart move, at least in terms of this match. But um, but yeah, so there's that. In terms of what I didn't quite like, I do feel like Hogan got a little too much in. Like I get Hogan overcoming and everything, and I get it, it's Hogan, but especially compared to the younger Randy, that and the fact that Randy's the one who lost. I feel like I don't talk about winners and losers enough in terms of like how I feel about them winning. Right, I do bring it up decent amount of time. But Randy definitely I think needed this win more. But if it's Hogan's last match in WWE, I guess I can understand why they gave him the win. And along with something else that we'll get into, who but there's also Randy kind of looking like a dolt. So Randy nails the RKO. Surprisingly, you're used to Randy like teasing the move, the RKO, but he doesn't actually hit it. Like his opponent does something and then Randy hits it later or doesn't hit it at all. But in this case, Randy winds it up. He doesn't do like the pounding on the mat just yet. We're still a few years away from that, but does measure Hogan, nails the RKO. Oh, not one of his better RKOs in my opinion, but and but nails the RKO and then goes for the pin. But Hogan gets his foot on the rope. Oh, so Randy's celebrating like he won the match until Lillian Garcia has to make the announcement. Like the referee tells Lillian Garcia to make the announcement that Hogan's foot was on the rope, therefore the match will continue. First of all, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Normally, if the ref counts to three, but the foot was on the ropes, they just notice it and then like kind of get the wrestler and tell them that hey, the foot was on the rope, and then the match just continues normally. But the fact that they broke that up into the announcement and and had the announcement in between the actual moments and then the match continuing, I think was really weird. And like I said, it kind of Randy does kind of look kind of dumb there for not realizing it and just celebrating like he won the thing. It's not quite as embarrassing as say Lex Luger thinking he took the title from Yokozuna when he just won it via when he just won the match via count out, but it's still a pretty weird way they went about it. But it there was that that kind of took me out of it as well. Oh, that and the fact that there was nothing super spectacular about this match, which I guess as was kind of a given and given who's involved. Oh, but yeah, nothing to super write home about, but the match was okay and a decent little footnote in the career of Randy. But why? Hey, you may ask, why did Hogan get the win over Randy? Now, there's people saying a variety of different things. Where's the truth lie? Maybe somewhere in the middle. There's plenty to say Hogan was threatening not to show for the match unless he was going over, threatened to have the surgery before the match, the knee surgery, and if he had the knee surgery before the match, he obviously wouldn't be able to make the match. So, there's that. There was the fact that Randy used to be kind of a bad boy. If you've heard about some of the exploits of younger Randy, he was getting into quite a bit of trouble. Apparently one of the reasons why he didn't beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 21 was because of kind of all the shenanigans he was starting and all the trouble he was getting into. Like I said, where's truth lie? Maybe somewhere in the middle of all that. Maybe it's a little bit from both camps, but yeah. So if that is the case that Hogan politicked his way into getting the win and here at SummerSlam, and knowing Hogan, I wouldn't put it past him. It's crazy that Hogan didn't learn his lesson from last year, but yeah. Now in hindsight, Randy still managed to carve out a solid career for himself that's going even to this day. He would wind up becoming multiple time world champion, pretty much a legend in his own right, several years down the line. But he definitely could have and should have gotten the win here. Like what a big feather in the cap for Randy, to be able to say that he killed Hulkamania, that he put away Hulkamania, especially if this was Hogan's last match, at least in WWE. Obviously, it wouldn't be his last match, period. He would wind up having matches such as like when he went on the Hulkamania tour, or like his match in TNA against Sting, which was actually Hogan's last match. But yeah, for his last match in WWE, why not put over a star, or an up and coming rising star like Randy Orton? But then again, this is Hogan we're talking about, so but But nevertheless, that is going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on the match, my review of the match. Do you like the match? Do you like my review of the match? Let me know. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.